you so much again. So the topic for tonight is actually the power of relationship as regards music. Okay, so that's I believe that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so Dunfeb, thank you for joining. We're waiting for you. Hope you're joining us again tonight. Our guy is here, so please be running down here. All right, so we're kicking off. All right, what's been up with you lately, and what's been up since the last time we spoke?
Uh, so thanks again for having me, and it's such a
You're
pleasure
welcome, sir.
and
You're welcome, sir.
such a blessing to be here. I see a lot of your clips on Facebook. I'm a nice guy when it comes to Facebook. It's just maybe I don't know. I don't know. I need to go and get born again on Facebook. But I see the stuff you're
Oh,
doing,
wow.
trying to reach out to
Okay.
people, and encouraging musicians. It's a very good uh, project that you're carrying. I think the last time we spoke, I said,
Thank you, sir.
you know, that many times people will not give you a pat on the back for the great things you do, but there's someone upstairs who sees it, and you just keep on
Exactly.
going. So it's a blessing. For
Thank you,
me,
sir.
the topic relationship is a very interesting one in the times that we find ourselves, whether you are a musician, which is the core, or you're a
Yeah.
Christian, you are in business, wherever you find yourself, really the it's a core aspect of our existence, is a core factor of our success. It forms the fabric of our existence, relationship.
Exactly.
And it's important that I think we give it some thought on how we can sort of leverage it and how we can build and how we can maximize it. So starting from the ground up, right? When you think about relationship, there are different types of relationships. Okay, there are uh, cordial relationships, formal relationships, informal relationships, and then that extends into different kinds of relationships where you have romantic relationships, you have mutual relationships, and
Okay.
industry-based relationships, um, uh, faith-based relationship. You have cultural based relationship. I remember when we were in school, they used to call this thing barakmo. The people from the same um, tribe. You have your meeting
Yeah.
every month. But you
Powerful.
see, whatever the level or the type or the kind that you find yourself, um, some people are sort of geared towards building those relationships. Now, understanding the different types of relationship is one, but you see,
Mhm.
relationships are so key that if we do not take advantage of them, we would live a very one-sided life. Now, look at it from the perspective of the Bible, if you would. Abraham, I don't think, and I stand to be corrected, I don't think Abraham was sitting down 24 hours of the day trying to hear God speak. All right. I think he had a lot going on with him and God to the point where he was a friend of God, right? And
Yeah.
this was someone who went to battle with men from his house, all right, to go
Mhm.
save his cousin, his nephew. He was a very wealthy man. And one thing with wealth is uh, such rich people deal with people on a daily basis and are always
Yeah.
making decisions. He was a very wealthy man, very wealthy man. So it tells you that if he can be a friend to God, come on, what would his friendship be with other people around? It tells you that it's a good
Yes.
relationship. So it's very key. It's very
Yes.
key. Now, Annie, there are different ways that we build this thing called relationship. Some of us, by virtue of the circles we find ourselves, maybe in
Mm-hmm.
our church, um, the circle we find ourselves in our business, the circle we find ourselves in our industry, in this case, maybe musicians, we find out that we have many friends and many colleagues and many allies within the
Yeah.
confines of where we find ourselves. Uh, I was scrolling through my phone many years ago. We're just joking about this. And I looked at my phone, right? And I looked at the contacts of my phone. They're either soprano singer, tenor singer, bass player, and
Oh,
vulcanizer,
wow.
mechanic, mechanic Ikeja, mechanic GI. You know, Brother Stanley, Church of God, Sister Sister Tina, Church of God Mission, Usher. So I think it was not. I think it was a famous guy. Name is Les Brown, who said this. He said he was taking one of his teachings, and he said he was caught in a situation where he needed financial help. And then he one of his mentors told him, okay, look, go through your phone and find out people who can help you. If you cannot get a hundred, if you cannot raise $100,000 from your contact list, it means that you have poor friends. You and your friends are poor. So he went back home and he looked at his phone and he checked, and he could only raise probably about $5,000 or $10,000. That's when he decided he was going to change, his friend. So there are places we find ourselves, maybe in our estate, that sort of gives us it puts, I don't want to use word pressure,
Yeah.
but it pushes us to build relationships. That's fine. Okay. I also noticed, that as musicians and sometimes as Christians, we oftentimes don't go out of our way to engage, to build relationships.
Yeah.
We often wait for relationships to come. So when somebody's in a cell group, or when somebody plays the same instrument with us, or we sing in the same choir, or we go to the same church, or we enter the same bus, or we meet at the same bus stop, we often at times don't go the extra mile to build the relationship.
To
And
build it.
and
Yes, true.
all you know, your next open door lies in the hands of someone you probably bumped into in a car park. I'm telling you the gospel truth. So there are those of us who just wait for relationships to happen, but I think there is a set of people who need to deliberately go out of their way to build relationships. Because
Yeah.
in building relationships, three things happens to you. One, you learn a lot of things about yourself that you did not know. Two, you learn a lot of things about another person that you did not know. And three, you are better equipped because you are getting some information about the environment that you did not know about. So, whatever relationship you're entering, whether it's formal, informal, you're building relationships, it
Yeah.
enhances your level. It increases your value. People are not paid for the skills that they have. People are paid for the information that they're able to translate into skill. That's why people are paid.
Exactly.
So when you learn about yourself, you learn about people, learn about the environment, it begins to help increase, your global perspective. Think about this. When I was preparing for this meeting, a thought came to my mind, and I said, we can be in now. I'm in Nigeria, so we can be in Lagos here, and we're singing, gospel songs, and we're saying, "Come on, lift up your heads, come on, everybody, come on," and the crowd would like it. You go to maybe in the US, they'll love it. Then you go to somewhere like maybe a more reserved country in Europe, and you go in there and say, "Lift up your hands, come on, everybody," and you see the look of people's face, you'll be shocked. You begin to ask if you are really a Christian.
Okay, yeah.
So what I use that example to let us know that the life we live is not just encompassing of what we know. The more we know other things, the better our acceptance and our approach to life becomes. Now,
True.
there was a time when I was traveling. I had the privilege to
Okay.
travel, and um, I saw this great man of God. He was flying. No, his wife was flying. We're flying on the same flight. Um, and I saw them. I said, "Wow, look at this guy!" And I liked him, and I liked the wife from a distance. Wonderful woman, very, very, just very nice woman, no airs, just very nice woman. But I just sat down there and I said to myself, you know what, I'm not gonna pretend. I don't want anybody to think, yeah, because we're flying and we're on the same plane, sitting close to each other, and then you want to take advantage. I'm trying to be humble. I don't want to put myself, as we say it in Warrior, I don't want for my every day,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
kept on getting nudging, and I believe it was the Holy Spirit nudging me. If I go talk to this, I said, I beg. So we flew, and I didn't say a word to her, and I didn't say anything. We landed and we came back. And when I came back, I usually would take some time to just ponder over my trip and just think about everything. This was weeks later,
Yeah.
and I had a very strong rebuke from the Lord. When
Mm.
what he was telling me was, when I open a door for you, who are you to define what the door should be?
Wow.
Now, I'm not a preacher. I'm never going to be a preacher. I'm never going to open a church. But thinking that way, because I am not a preacher, I cannot engage a preacher, or because I'm a preacher, I cannot engage a non-preacher, just means that
Mm.
my understanding of relationship is low.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then
The box.
God started opening my eyes, and I say this in public domain so people understand that is a form of pride. Thinking that you are trying to be humble when God has opened the door, you're
Mm.
saying, you know what, I don't want people to think. That's another level of pride altogether. And I wept
Wow.
bitterly, and I told the Lord, any door you open for me, by your grace, I will knock on that door. So
But some people actually don't know. Some people actually don't. It's not like they want to do it, but they just don't know that indirectly that's pride. You
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. And you know, the Bible says pride goes before a fall.
People
It's only, it's only, I don't want to call him a fool. It's only an unwise man that will think that because the cover of the book is yellow, that the pages in that book will automatically be yellow.
Okay.
We
Sure.
can take a book and just look at it and say, this book and is yellow. I don't think this book will be sweet. You just assume, and that's how we assume our way out of destiny. We assume
Mm.
that, what, the relationship is not key. Let me just focus on myself. The Bible says God is looking for a man that will stand in the gap. If God,
Yeah.
the author and finisher of our faith, is looking for men, who are you not to look for men?
Seriously.
Who are you?
Seriously.
So
We need
when
men.
when when we when we when we talk about this, I'm very passionate about this topic, because I think one of the things that is keeping us where we are, and is the fact that we are so fixated on the relationships that we have at the moment. It's
Yeah.
time to open that thing up. You know, when you do music, like we do music, or even better than we do music, uh,
Yeah.
the more traveled you are, the more exposed you are, it influences your style and your interpretation of music. Even though, truth
Wow.
is, the more you travel, the more you expose, the more you read, the more you educate yourself, it influences the way you approach things. It just changes it.
Yeah.
It
For
just
sure.
changes it. You know, back in the day when I started public speaking, I could say a lot of things and get away with them. But when I started doing trainings, I started taking some, courses here and there on public speaking, I started understanding that you don't just speak because you can speak. You have to have the view, you have to put at the back of your mind the people who are listening to you. You have to be able to communicate, because communication is not just you talking, but it's you talking and people being able to understand and
Understand.
respond
Yeah.
back. But if I didn't do all of this, I probably would not have known, and I'll just be talking over people's heads. And the same thing applies to relationship. Now let's bring this thing down, because we've talked a lot about relationship. If you are a musician, or you're a worship leader, or you're a business person, um, and you cannot practically look at your phone and see a diversity of people, friends on your
Mm.
contact list, then you have a problem. Now, how do you solve that problem? You can commit to building relationships on a weekly, monthly basis. You can build a friend, take a friend one day, or sorry, maybe make a friend once every week or once every month. There's no hassle, there's no pressure, but just make sure that every day you are a better person building a relationship. Now, just because
Wow.
just because you think you are you, you know, let me say this. Um, we are not as important as we think we are. People should let, yeah, we're not. We're not. I remember, I mean, when I had, who had our first son, uh, the boy would, I mean, when he was very young, when he wake up in the morning, he probably would just come and greet me. I would carry him in my arms. He stays there for about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and he's off. He moves. Sometimes I want to talk to him. He just does he not send you? Do you understand? So I complained to one of my colleagues in the office then, and she said to me, said, Mofe, you have to find a way to get into his space. You do not
Mm.
exist. He cannot come into your space. You have to make the effort to get into his space.
Good
And the
space.
same thing
Wow.
I say when you build relationships, when you're building new relationships, you have to get into their space. Sometimes you have to knock, you have to extend your hands, you have to
Yeah.
build the relationship, talk. Sometimes you send messages, they will not respond. Somebody, these days, say I sent him a message, he really didn't respond.
Yeah.
You guys build a relationship. You continue, you continue, you continue. There's a friend of mine, there's a friend of mine who runs a uh, a very good business now. When they were trying to start up, um, it was a very difficult start, himself and his partner, to the point that
Yeah.
in several weeks, if not months, to be able to have that engagement for them to build a business that is feeding a lot of families today. Why do I bring that point? I bring that point because sometimes when you knock on the door doesn't open. It doesn't mean that the Lord is saying that you should not knock again. Because sometimes we just feel that if I've sent him a message, I mean, he should reciprocate by sending me back. He doesn't send me back. No.
Of course.
It's just like you're saying you're a business person, you send a proposal to a customer, the customer does not call you, and you say the customer is not interested. Who told you? You make the customer interested. It's your duty to get the
Yeah.
customer to be interested, right? So when it
Sure.
comes to building relationships, we want to find out what are the areas that I want to build relationships in. For example, every man who obviously has maybe is married, has children, has a business or works in a company. That man has multi-dimension in his life. He is a man, number one. He's a husband, number two. He's a father. He's an in-law. He's a
Yeah.
business owner
A
or a
lot of
worker,
things.
and then he's a lot of things. And in these areas, he needs support. So
Yeah.
you should be able to build relationship across the different sectors or aspects of your life. That will
Mm-hmm.
help you to become a proper person. As a musician, you are not just a musician. You're not just a singer. Even if you sing for a living or you sing in a band, that's not all that is to you. If that's all that is to you, then don't collect money now and just be singing like the lady there, just be singing. Church will give you
Okay.
but
Dunfeb.
you have a landlord. You have to build a relationship with your landlord. So, as a musician,
Sure.
what are the areas of your life that you need to begin to open up to build relationships? Relationships
Yeah.
are in two ways. Look, if you understand the power of relationship, I was working in a company many years ago, and let me give you the story. This guy was our dispatch guy. He was earning, I think, about 15,000 naira, and the 15,000 naira was not consistent. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a dispatch guy. He was riding the bike. Was looked down a lot of times. In one day, I remember that day. I think it was a Wednesday or a Friday. I can't remember very well. It was a weekday. He came to the
Mm-hmm.
office, showed us a paper that his father was dead, and that an oil company had decided that they were going to purchase a particular land that they own. I think they found oil or something there. And that time, this was probably about 15 years ago or so, thereabout. They
Wow.
were going to pay him, I think, just as starters, they were going to pay him somewhere around 15 million naira, 10, 15 million naira.
Hmm.
So here's a guy who was earning 15K that was not consistent, automatically became a millionaire. Automatically.
Wow.
Now, when you build quality relationships with the guys down, the day they go up, they will never forget you. They will never forget you. Yeah.
True.
When you're into business, you will understand the value of keeping engagement numbers in your phone. Because one day you will not one day, you will need them. They'll tell you when Oga is in the office and when Oga is not in the office, when you need to come and when you do not need to come. So I don't know, maybe people have questions online or suggestions, but I just wanted to put these thoughts out there that we are we are we are people of relationship. We are built not as standalones, but we're built
Yeah.
to relate.
Hmm.
And in relating with people, we must get out of our comfort zone. Yes, it's good to relate to the people within our space, whether it's music, whether it's
Hmm.
church. It's good to relate with those people and build relationships. But it's also important to go outside of our space. Jesus, who came, he picked fishermen, he picked different kinds of people. He didn't just
Yeah.
pick people that were sons of carpenters. Just okay, is your father a carpenter? No, I can't, you cannot be my child. Is your father a carpenter? I'm looking for people that their fathers are carpenters.
Yes.
He didn't do that.
So, and that happens these
Yeah,
days very much in the
exactly.
churches.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then also maybe just a point to add is the fact that um, when when you try to build relationships, don't expect too much from it. Don't build it because of what you want to get.
Okay.
Build it because of who you want to become. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think
I was
Bishop was
coming to that.
Bishop was it Pastor Dick that said, yeah, to become a millionaire, you must have 1 million souls. I think that's what he said. If you're not rich in much, you cannot be rich in money.
Sorry, I didn't get that. It
If
was actually for
I'm saying
locating.
yes, I'm saying that if you're not rich in humans, you cannot be rich in money. You may have cash, so
Oh,
you
okay.
don't have power. Because cash, money, and power are two different things. Yes, they're two different things. They're two different things. You
That's
can
right.
have power and not have influence. But if you have influence, you have power. And a power innate power is enabled in the place of relationship because people will want to work with you, work for you, and support you. All right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I have a few things to say, but firstly, I want to say that um, knowing this or you dishing out these
Yeah.
things to us shouldn't make us, like you just said now, that we shouldn't wait to reap. It shouldn't be, the relationship shouldn't be for just taking. You have to always, if I may add, you should be able to, or you should also be an impact or create an impact in the life of that person or in the lives of the people. If you know that you want to make a relationship, what is your motive? Your motive for your relationship also has to be, good. It's got to be good, because if it's not, then you would always have the mentality of only wanting to take, because if you, that's how for me, friendship is give and take. You can't say, yeah, I just like you for nothing. Nah, it's give and take. You must create an impression in the life of that person. You should be able to at least put something, let the person think of you and like, okay, wow, this person, thank God I know this person. Not just you. I was listening to a man of God the other day, and he said that rich men, people who know rich men, people who are really wealthy, if you know a rich man and you always whenever he remembers you, he always thinks of you collecting, collecting, collecting. You know, we have this mentality that rich people, they don't need gifts. You know, normally, if you have a rich man around you, just like, it's okay. Putin, I won't give him. On his birthday, you just send a text message, happy birthday, sir, the Lord bless you, thank you for being a...
We love
Go ahead, go a step further. Yes, we love you. Go a step further and do something, no matter how little. It mustn't be money, but let it be something that you could give, you know, to the person. It could be a handkerchief, just with designs on it, with his picture or his name or something, you know, that he would see and remember to say, oh, if this person can do this little thing, if he had more, he would have, you know. That's just what I want to add, because we have this mentality of wanting to, you know, this entitlement mentality of the black man, critical black man. You know, we have this, yes, I have to, you have to give me, 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 you know. And people run away from such people. That's just the truth. Sometimes they may not want to tell you, or they may not want to say, but people run away from such people who always want to take, 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 take. I don't care if the person is a billionaire. If you're coming, in fact, these rich or wealthy people are the ones who actually want you to impact them, no matter how little. Just create an impact in their life.
Yeah.
Just
I
be
mean,
doing
I think,
something.
sorry, I think what happened,
You know.
some people are saying they can't hear us very well. We need to find out if people are
Are there
hearing us.
questions?
Now, I think some people are saying, I just got a chat now, someone saying our audio is not very clear. Can the guys online hear us? If you can
Oh,
hear us,
really?
give us a
Are
thumbs
you
up.
using earpiece?
I
I
can
think I
hear
muted
you.
myself. Are you using an earpiece?
Yes, I am. Was that the
Uh,
problem?
Maybe you should take
I
it
can
off.
hear
Let's
you.
try.
But I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Maybe you should take
Well,
it off.
okay.
Let's try. Maybe you should just take it off. Let's try. Because sometimes that's actually I don't know.
Okay, so let me see if I can.
You put it back, but just let's compare. Let's see, because if you're giving the feedback.
Okay.
Like,
Okay. Is it better now?
is it better? I think they will have to, because I can actually hear you. I
Oh,
don't know about them. Um, well, sir, please, can you say something? Maybe,
okay.
I think it's
I can hear
actually
clearly. Okay, they
better.
can hear now. All right. Good.
Okay.
Maybe it was my village people that was blocking my volume.
That's better. Okay. Okay. So that was just what I wanted to add. You know, you must give back to.
Thanks, Kim. Yeah, I mean, you are spot on that. Very, very spot on. And if we need to even if we need to even take it a bit further, I have in my few years on Earth, I've had this thing play out many times. You know, several times. I mean, there was a project we were working on. One of my first recording. This was in 2015, and one of my dear, he calls me father. But he's an old man, but he calls me father. His name is Adrian. You know him. So Adrian was
Yes.
introduced to me by someone else when we were trying to work on a project, and I didn't know him. I knew the other person who had introduced him, and he said, "Okay, bros, there's this guy. He plays the keyboard. Let's see if we can work with him." Okay, fine. And he came and we worked. He played. We just met that day. He played with us a few times, you know. And from that moment, from that day, we became. He was sort of how will I put it, incorporated into my family. I became closer to him and his family more than the person who introduced us.
Mm.
That till this day we are very, very, very close.
Shall
Very
I
close.
join?
Sorry?
I said, I join.
Yeah, see?
You're not chief.
He's jealous.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
So relationships, look,
Mm.
I cannot overemphasize this fact, because when you go out of your way to serve, to engage, to grow, I think where we have a problem, Annie, is people are too quick to people are too quick to want to see the harvest before they do the sowing. All right, they want to see, where is this thing going to take me to before I start
Yeah.
getting involved. No,
Yeah.
I was telling
Yes.
somebody that, maybe I'm old school, but I'll say this. Some people will not agree with me, but I'll tell you this. It is so people think that, and I've had this conversation with young people who are going into relationships. Let me digress a little bit.
Okay.
Marriage relationships, and they want to know the end from the beginning. So they take a license from God that wants to show them the end from the beginning. And then they begin to, sort of, how do you say it in Worry? They shine their eye, they shine their eye. I believe, and this is not biblical, this is just my belief. I believe that in any relationship that I get into, whether it's for marriage or business, it is my duty, if I believe in that relationship, I will invest in that relationship. My investment in that relationship does not necessarily mean I'll get my return from that relationship.
Back from that, yes.
It does not
Somewhere
necessarily
else.
mean that. Because that's where we think that because I have invested here, I should
so
get. It is just like the relationship of a son and a father. I have the responsibility to train my children and to invest in them. I do not expect them to. This will sound, yes. It now becomes it now becomes, how will I put it? It now becomes a law that they must take care of me in my old age. Yes, they would obviously, be there, but they should not be financially responsible for me.
Okay.
They shouldn't be. I should not be a financial burden or even a physical burden to my children. We say it a lot in the house, myself and my wife. I tell my kids, I say the reason I try to keep fit, it's not because I like it. It's because when I'm old, I don't want you to see my phone call. You say, Daddy's calling again now. What does he want now? We sent him money last week now. What does he want again? You speak to Daddy. Daddy's always calling. Doesn't he have another thing to do? No. So I don't want to be calling. Then you ask my number, you'll be avoiding my number. No. God will bless them. God will bless me. They'll be richer than me, but I'll be okay. I'll just be okay. Physically, spiritually, and otherwise. And that's the mentality that I think we should also have towards building relationships. That sometimes it will not work the way we want it to work, but we'll just keep investing because God will open other doors for us.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Dunfeb, what do you have for us today? Are there questions? I haven't seen any yet.
Let me check. I don't think there are questions.
Wow.
What have we been saying now? Nobody.
Thank you guys for being with us tonight. All those watching on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, thank you so much. If you have questions, kindly put it down on the comment section. We would go through and answer them for you. Thank you so much once again, Sarah, for being here. I've learned a lot. Dunfeb, what have you taken tonight? What have you taken? What do you have for us? Yeah.
It's always, I mean, a great time when my ball,
yeah, when he comes around. The last time was the bomb. The last time we couldn't really get him like that, but today, thank God. Yeah.
We're colleagues.
Father of all fathers. Let me not go there.
We're colleagues.
Thank you so much. In fact, I've learned a lot. I mean, I keep learning. In fact, I've learned some things, just to build up my mind power and, I mean, relationship with people. different people. Okay, I think someone has a question. Maybe I should just ask that. Kemi, yeah, Kemi, she's asking, how do you strike a conversation with someone that is far above you? I think two questions. Then the second one say, how do you design profitable relationships?
Okay. All right. So I'll answer this. This is a very, very good question, Kemi. How do you strike a conversation with someone that's far above you? So there are two areas, the two ways to look at it. We have the cultural aspect, and then we have it from the non-cultural aspect. For example, if I'm going to talk to someone who is older than me, and it's from the cultural perspective, obviously I will play the cultural card. I would not be seen talking to an elder or shaking hands with an elder and saying hi. I think it's wrong. So I would play it from the cultural angle and play it from that way. But you see, the point here is whether you're using cultural or non-cultural, is the point is this: there is a value that you carry that you believe would be of value to the person. So how do you strike that conversation? If it's in church or outside of church, wherever you find yourself, if it's someone that's way older than you and there's something you like about the person, you walk up to the person, simple, and you greet the person. That's the first thing. Greet the person. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Kemi, or my name is Mufe. I noticed you were sitting, maybe if it's a conference, if it's at a conference, you would have probably seen the person, right? And something is making you want to strike a conversation with the person. So find a way to express that thing that you wanted to strike the conversation with the person with. All right. If it's a conference, oh, good afternoon. I noticed you attended the conference. Are you from Lagos, or do you work in this company, or what church are you from? If it's a Christian, just find something within the environment that you are in to have that conversation. My boss told me this many years ago. He said, Mufe, if you're in a room where millionaires and billionaires are, they will assume that you are one of them. So speak as if you are, behave, don't carry yourself, but be courageous enough to engage them, because they don't know who you are. If you're in that space, they think that you are like them. So if you're in a space where there are big people, engage them. Even if you have to prostrate, but engage them. Okay, so that's that. Use the environment, elements of the environment, elements of the conversation to strike that conversation with the person. All right. The second question was, how do you discern
Profitable relationships?
Okay, I'll tell you this from my little experience. You should not aim only for profitable relationships, because you will not learn what it means to get into bad relationships. I don't use the word bad, but let me explain what I mean. Jesus picked 12. In that 12, there were people who did not have belief. In that 12, there were people who were 419. But you see, the experience of the doubters and the experience of the thief builds Jesus's, so to speak, leadership character, to be able to work with every other person. So when you engage people, all right, you're engaging with a good intention to build relationship. Like I said, every relationship has three things to offer. It shows you things about yourself that you did not know or that you're not aware of. It shows you things about the person that you never knew about. And it shows you things about other things that the person, both of you engaging in that conversation, throws up. For example, maybe I'm speaking to someone who is from the north in this country. And then, oh, how are you? He said, my name is Salami. Okay, Salami, pleasure to meet you. You're from where? He said, I'm from Kaduna. Oh, you're from Kaduna? Oh, nice. I heard that Kaduna is a lovely city. Yes. Even there's one food we call Kanduma. And he said, oh, Kanduma, what's Kanduma? He begins to tell me about Kanduma. I'm just giving an example. I'm just throwing names. But I never knew about that food. But he has told me about that. That's something I have learned from my new friend from Kaduna. You know, so when you build those kind of relationships, you don't just wait for the ones that will be profitable. Some of them would be cordial,
Yeah.
some of them would be business, but you build it in such a way that whatever you want to leverage with that relationship, there's a door that connects both of you. It doesn't mean because you
Yeah.
build relationship every day, you call it the person low. Not every day.
Mm.
Depend on what the level of the relationship and how it begins to grow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. I think, and I think there's another question here.
Okay.
If I may just read it out. And okay, is asking, how do you manage a parent who feels extremely entitled to care in return and expect more than what you can give? So how will you manage such relationship? I don't know if you get that.
Yeah,
Man.
I do. It's a very sensitive topic, and I'll try to
It is very
I'll
sensitive.
try to give you my perspective. First of all, you cannot sing, you cannot do more than you cannot do more than your ability. Okay. There's a certain level that you can do. However, there is a blessing when it comes to parents. The Bible says, honor your father and your mother so that your days will be long and everything. There is a blessing. Sometimes, and I don't have the details of this question, but I think that there are certain conversations that need to be had. You need to have some conversations so that people are on the same page. You know, sometimes we think, and I'm not saying this is you, but I've seen this experience where we assume that they know, they should know
Okay. Yeah,
situations.
true.
Sometimes they may not know, they may be completely ignorant. All right. But if a conversation is, you have that conversation, a clear, open conversation, not one of quarrel, I would not recommend that, because there's an honor, there is a blessing that comes from parents. There is. And I cherish, I don't want to say I am jealous, but I envy people who have fathers and mothers. My parents are dead. Okay.
Me too.
I know what it means to have a father, whether it's 60 years, whether it's 80 years, whether it's 90 years. There's some wealth of wisdom that you can glean from them. A 5 minutes conversation can change your trajectory of your life. Your children engaging with them can change their focus, the way they see life differently. Just those engagements. So I cherish those moments. However, I think that a conversation needs to be had between you and your parents, so that people understand, okay, this is how we're going to do it. And you need to see how you manage things. For example, you can only give maybe 500, I don't know where the person is. Maybe you can only give $500 every month. And Pale is asking for 1,000. Now you're in America now. People are sending money to their children. You say, yes, daddy. However, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. If I can get to that, you see, everything is negotiable. It's just the way you present it. So I would not recommend, throwing them throwing them out or something. Just find a way to have that conversation and manage their expectations. There's a way you can tell somebody that, and I'm not saying this to tell your parents, but I'm just saying there's a way you can tell somebody no, and the person will say thank you.
Yeah. True. Everything is just you have to let them know.
Yeah,
I think that's what I got out of it. I think there's still a question there.
No, that's okay. No, that's like
Okay, like a
yeah,
comment.
that's the comment
Okay,
section.
that's so one of the things I do when I approach relationship of any kind is that I try to be evidently and genuinely gracious. Wow. People may not tell you, but it always makes a difference. True. It's very,
Absolutely.
very important. Very, 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 very important. Dunfeb, were you going to say anything? Because I think we have almost reached the end of the show tonight. I really enjoyed may I say, communication. Yes, I love the questionings
Yeah.
or the questions coming in. I love the communication, but basically, I think honestly, I didn't see it coming. This particular topic, I didn't see it coming. Honestly, I didn't see it coming, and this is very, very powerful.
Very
Even
important.
it had to take God, Jesus, to come down from heaven to be able to reach out to man. See, you need a man, you need people,
Yes, sir.
we need us. Say
Before-
something.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you,
Okay.
Uncle Mofe. I mean, so every
Yeah.
musician have a doctor friend, should have a lawyer friend. You know,
Oh.
yeah, should have a business coach as a
Yeah.
friend. Yeah, because I mean, you cannot just sing, take mic and sing. But there's a lot, you know,
Yeah,
there's
there's
a
a
lot.
whole lot, but we're not saying you go and start looking for them on the streets. But the thing is, when you come across them, try and build a relationship with them. It's not like you're going to fetch them out or something. you know, so it's very, very, it's very, very important. Very, very important to building relationship.
Yeah.
It's the topic is basically about building relationships because we need them. We need them, especially as okay, especially as musicians, because we're coming back to the focus, okay, or to the focal point. As musicians, we need people because some people cry sometimes to say, I don't know what to do. I have this song, nobody is helping me, nobody is doing this. What are you giving? What efforts are you making to knowing the people that can actually help you in this area? You know, what efforts are you putting in? This is how it begins. So I'm glad that this actually came because it's at this point we need it.
You know,
We need this information.
let me make one point. You just buttressed, and I think it's important to say this, especially for musicians. One of the greatest problems I have found with musicians is our talent. Because we have a skill to sing or play the instrument, we are sometimes very short-fused. So you are not able to relate with people that are not at your level of singing.
Yeah.
When you sing, maybe you sing in a I'm laughing. You sing in a church that's very big, and you think that because people are shouting your name in church, that's how people are shouting your name in the bank. Do you
Continue.
understand?
Just
Disappointment.
You will tune nail.
Thank you, Campbell
That's what we
prophecy.
call. Say you will tune nail. So just because you are popular in church, you think that that's how it should be. That everybody should be at your beck and call. You are deceiving yourself. So you must learn that as a musician, you are also a human being. Remember, we made that point. There are different dimensions of your life. Don't just think that because you are a singer and when you sing, anointing comes. And anointing does not pay rent. It doesn't pay.
You go sing finish, you go try go out. So
You cannot clap hand for
you go
doctor
to see, you go to see cars, you go to see machine just they pass you. Bye bye, hi.
you go cash winch now.
You go to slide with them.
you.
They move, they wave you. Bye bye. I see you next Sunday.
Then one more thing about from that point is we should learn not to close doors firmly on relationships. It may be a bad relationship that you've had close it in such a way that if there is a need tomorrow,
Can
you
easily open.
can leverage, because relationships you build today can have adverse effects on your children, positive or negatively.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So when you break, because I see this a lot, people are breaking up in relationship. Maybe a band breaks up, or you know, there's breakup in some church. You know, people, you know, so we go and say, no.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
in the heat of the moment, yes, but later find way. That's why the Bible says, as much as it lies within you, live at peace with all men. Leave small space in case, just in case. Because see, there are conversations that are being heard, that are being had, that you are not privy to, that your name can be mentioned and somebody can kill it there.
Seriously.
Kill it there immediately. Don't create enemies for yourself. Or somebody's problem, somebody's enemy, you inherit it.
That's yours.
You know?
That's
so we should learn to do that as well.
Yeah. So I think there's a question. Annie, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I think there's a question here. Okay, I think he's asking that, how do you deal with a person that you know is beneficial to your journey, but you don't connect with them?
Okay, you have to connect with the person.
You don't get choice.
You have to. Look, if someone is going to be beneficial to your journey, there's something you are going to learn from that person. It beholds on you to reach out. Peter was drowning. He reached out to Jesus to help him. What's his name? Was it Nicodemus? No, it's not Nicodemus. This guy who was the tax collector. What's his name?
Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus. The guy did not care. Zacchaeus was a big boy, commissioner for finance. Shouting, "Thou son of David!" So you have to find a way. Look, find a way. See, and be willing. I'm laughing. Be willing and be prepared to fail and try again. Because we think that in building relationship or building something tangible, everything has to click. Everything does not click. Failure is a pathway to success. It's part of the experience. If you don't fail, how would you teach your children when they're struggling in school now? How would you teach them? So, if someone is important to you, go the extra mile. Go the extra mile. Don't become a nuisance. Don't become a pest, but go the extra mile. Speak to the person. Send emails. Call. You know, find out how you can build the relationship. Be the one donating to the relationship. It will yield for you because you know where you are going to.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful. Dunfeb, do you have something else to say, or is there any question else? Any more question?
No, I don't have any question.
Okay, good. Extra.
My head don't full. Couldn't reset my head.
There's something he said. There was something he said. I just wanted to throw light on. Oh, I want to add to. It's kind of comic. It's funny, but when he said, "How will your parents, if your parents didn't fail, or if you don't want to fail, how will they teach you? How will they teach you? You know, if they don't fail." But why is it that our parents never agree that they failed in school? They always pass. Our parents never agree. They never agree that they failed in school. They say, "I come and if you go and check, if you go and ask my friends when we were in school, I always come out first. Nobody always agrees that they were the last in class, something like that." So I just came to my mind, like, okay, let me see this. It's crazy.
For me, my children know how their father struggled in school. In fact, my case is the reason why everybody must read in the house.
Ooh.
Yes, that's why, because I tell them the truth. I wasn't the smartest kid, and I wasn't the dullest child in the class. But there were guys who were sharper than me. Okay, in my primary school, I was coming out tops. I was very sharp in my primary school. But when I entered secondary school, almost the guys were sharper. As in they were
Yes,
sharper.
so.
They were just sharper.
Mm.
I was coming out very low, and I was getting high grades, but I was coming out like 28, 29, 30. And I told my children, I said, this is the reason why I'm telling you this. Because if they are struggling, because I noticed they struggled in some places in their school, and I let them know that I also struggled. So it makes it easier for them to relate with
For them to
because they've
come,
seen
yeah.
it. And I tell them, I don't like reading, but I read because I have to read.
I have to read to pass.
So I don't know. Well, my father did not tell me that he was the best. He didn't even need to tell me. My sisters were more intelligent than me. So I was always told about their own story. Look at your sisters. They're all passing. What is wrong with you? Are you sure I'm your father?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So this is where we draw the curtains tonight, and we want to appreciate our guest tonight, Mr. Mofe. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for pouring out again from your wealth of knowledge, and we appreciate you greatly, 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 greatly. Dunfeb, what's up? Any
Father of
words?
fathers.
Any parting words?
Okay.
Thank you all for being with us. Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Soon we're going to be on YouTube Live by the grace of God as the ministry is moving forward. Please help us share. Guys, help us share, propagate this gospel. This is us. The Lord is doing a great work here, and we just want to be a part of the society. We want to be a part of the system. We want to be a part of the world, impacting people with the wealth of knowledge that God has, put in us. For people like Mr. Mofe, you're such a blessing, sir, because you are not, like I said earlier, not a difficult person. Some people haven't come here before, would have been a bit, strenuous, but it was just easy, and we appreciate that. We do not take it for granted at all. Thank you so much for your versatility, for your making yourself vulnerable to us in a very good way. We appreciate that, and we thank your wife and your children for releasing you for us tonight to be here, and we're grateful. We hope the next time we would really love to have you again, because you're so knowledgeable, you're so vast, you're so creative, and you know how to communicate with people. And I really appreciate that. I love such people around me. First of all, thank you so much for this time. Please help us share, guys. Help us share, like, and just help us share. And please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Mr. Mofe, I think he's got his handle. You can follow him and see some of his works. Follow also Dunfeb on his handle. And he's there, right there. You see him there. He's right there. Just follow his handle. I think it's James Ukala or Dunfeb on Instagram.
Yeah, Dunfeb on Instagram. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, on Instagram, on Facebook, James Ukala. Please, guys, let's help to propagate this thing. Because some people actually, like I said earlier, some don't know. Some people really want to do, but they don't know. And ignorance sometimes not an excuse. If you don't know it, you just fail. So if we know the things, they will share and keep sharing and keep spreading the good news. I wonder these days why bad news will have to spread more than good. People kind of celebrate bad more than good. We here, we don't. So please help us share this good news, and just we thank God once again tonight for the privilege to be here. It's about the kingdom. It's about the kingdom of God, and it's about Jesus. So we're grateful for everything. Thank you all, guys. Don't want to keep you too long. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. Be with us again next week, Tuesday, same time, at 9 p.m. Nigerian time. West African time is the same. The Lord bless you. Amen. Keep you, cause His face to shine on you. In Jesus'